All right, we have another great topic to talk about this week, but let's start firstly with I'm Fauzi with great topics, and this is Nick that just likes to listen to me because you haven't brought any topics to the table this week, man. Just calling you out on
Okay.
on
Yeah.
live right now.
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, let's unpack that. Is that the topic that I haven't brought any
the
topics?
the the
That's
topic
probably
here
not
is
been
that
interesting.
if I said to you, I actually heard this a couple of days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago now. Okay, we're walking along the street with a couple of ballers that obviously I'm a coach. So these are kids that play basketball, and they were saying, "Oh, Melo, man, had such a great game. He was such a great player. He does some real great stuff, Melo. And he's, I wish I had a Melo jersey, number two, yeah, or number one. Okay, I can't remember what it was. And I said, Melo wasn't number two or number one. Melo was number seven. And they said, what are you talking about, man? I said, Carmelo was number seven. And they said, LaMelo. They said, LaMelo. And I said, are you calling me old? But the topic here is that do we gravitate towards players in our era that we
Based
favor?
off.
That we favor? Yeah, because then I think I said something along the lines to these kids. I said, Melo will always be Carmelo. Yeah. Okay, we should probably refer to LaMelo as LaMelo. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Melo is Carmelo Anthony, Hall of Famer, great player, never won a ring, but he was a great player, a great scorer, and part of that deep draft class with LeBron, D Wade, blah blah blah. Okay, just like AI, some other kid comes along one day and his initials are AI. You can't call him AI. You go, hey man, that AI kid is balling. AI is Allen Iverson. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like I'm sure now. Here's the catch, right? If I said, "Hey man, have you seen what Michael Jordan's been doing lately?" and sometimes say like me, like, "Hey, Michael B. Jordan," I'll be like, "Who the hell is Michael B. Jordan? That's even relevant in this conversation. He doesn't even play basketball." But like I said, the topic here really is: do we affiliate and associate ourselves to players that we know in our area and lean towards them? Which probably then leads a little bit. And this is not the topic itself; it's to do with name recognition. That why I lean towards MJ and obviously other players have leaned towards LeBron because we haven't seen those. Like no kid right now would play go, oh man, I love Carmelo Anthony. You'd have to watch a lot of YouTube right now to be able to say something like that.
Yeah. Look, I think maybe what you're trying to allude to here. I thought originally you were going to go on the tangent about
I can go anyway, man.
nicknames are locked for certain players, but I think the
That's one
deeper
part.
question
Yep.
here is that I look. I really believe this. This is going to get. I'm going to be serious. I'm going to be really philosophical. I really believe that when we see things and really gravitate towards things, it's also a little bit reflective of where we are in our current life. So you think about favorite movies, favorite books, favorite games, favorite media, favorite sports, etc. A lot of that is based off an important moment in our lives, right? And for all of us, in some capacity, our formative years are that moment, right? When we become teenagers, we really learn our identity, we learn our personality, we really hone in our interests, right? We're less diversified, we're really picking it. I picked up basketball in my teen years and then really went with it. And that's how Steve Nash ended up becoming my favorite player because I looked at him and I was like, he's dominating the league, but he's not super athletic. He's actually quite relatable. I
Perfect.
want to be a pass first forward guy. All of that was really, really relatable, right? And I still idolize him and I love watching his highlights. And, do players in the current era make me feel that way? No. I like some players. I like watching the highlights of some players. I'm very intrigued by Wembanyama. I really like what Ann Edwards does. They're young players, but the difference now than when Steve Nash was around, I don't go outside and play on my backyard hoop, or I don't go to the park and play with my friends, or I don't try it on my game on Saturday anymore because I don't play anymore. It's different, you know, and I think that's the big thing. You grow up watching players, and LaMelo Ball is such a captivating player, right? And they're gonna watch him do a recent highlight because everything's very recency bias. That's just how social media works. They watch him do something, they go to their game and they try it, or they go outside and they try it. And as you get older, you don't
Mm,
do that.
mm.
That's not a
So,
natural thing to
so
do.
it is a great what you're sort of taking this direction and this pathway on what I started with. So, who's your favorite player, Nick, in the NBA?
Currently,
No, no, no. Just answer the question. Let's say I just came along and met you
Steve
at a
Nash,
party.
Steve Nash, Steve
Correct.
Nash.
See, here's the thing. We're on the same page. You asked me right now. So you asked me right now who my favorite player in the NBA, and I often just pause and I think about it, and I think probably the same thing. You mean right now or just in general? And then I just go. I've sort of taken the stance here that I don't care whether you're talking about right now or in general. My answer is Penny Hardaway. And then people will be like, "Who the hell is Penny Hardaway?" Yeah, because no one, that's
Do you mean
under the
Tim?
yeah, yeah,
Do you mean
Tim
Tim?
Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. Yeah, and that's the point. Okay, so same like you said, Steve Nash, man, without context to who's a favorite current player or center or blah blah blah, etc. You said Steve Nash. I say Penny Hardaway. I love Penny Hardaway in a similar way that you love Steve Nash when we were growing up, and he was a real iconic player, and he sort of mimics sort of what we do, okay, in that sort of sense, and what we hope to do, maybe not what we did, but what we hope to do at least as a player. Yeah,
No,
that
I
that
look like Steve Nash out there, but you
cool,
keep going.
cool.
Yeah.
Talk it up, talk it up. Let's get some of your grainy footage on here, and we'll slice it on too if you've got some. But that's another topic. But yeah, here's the catch. I think I like LaMelo. I actually really like LaMelo. Yeah, in fact, maybe here's the part. I like LaMelo because LaMelo probably plays a little bit like Penny Hardaway. Yeah, there's probably
Yeah.
attributes there that
Mm.
LaMelo is like Penny Hardaway, just like John Wall was like Penny Hardaway, just like Ja Morant has got some attributes like Penny Hardaway and D Rose, and I like all these players. Okay, and I'll never say they're my favorite player. Okay, but I would say I do like what they do. Okay, and I would say if you had to make me list 10 players that I like watching, I'll list sort of these sort of players because they probably have a similar playing style to that. I don't know about you, man. You might really
No,
like some white
I
guys that pass the
yeah,
ball. I don't know, man, but
yeah. I mean, look, I love me some Jason Williams.
yeah,
Can't
Jay Will was
deny it.
great. Jay Will was great. He was yeah, he was another
You
cat in
know.
himself, man. But at the end of the day, if we're talking, let's go back to like say names, okay? And that was like one side part here. I definitely, like you sort of said, should nicknames be locked to players? I'm gonna vote yes. Yeah. So therefore, Melo is taken. LaMelo needs a different nickname. Okay, you cannot reference him as Melo. Okay,
Well,
because I think that's really you know
so I have two examples that have popped into my head. A little bit more niche, but when Andre Iguodala was in
I
Philadelphia
was AI
and
was it?
was potentially being poised as that next big thing in Philly,
Yep.
he had a little bit of AI buzz, but not as much.
That's
But
Iggy.
then
He was Iggy. He was Iggy.
ew,
Yeah. He was Iggy.
Iggy ended up being default. But I think of Superman,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And that was a
Two
bit of a
Supermans, right?
division
There were two
because there
Supermans.
were two Supermen, right? Depending on who you were at what age and what time, people did grow up knowing Dwight Howard as Superman, completely missing the point that Shaq was actually the original Superman.
But Shaq
And
was,
so,
but
and that's the thing, but Shaq had so many nicknames. That's the
correct.
other issue with
Yeah, yeah.
Shaq,
I think that's the point.
Diesel,
Diesel,
you
Diesel.
know,
If you asked me
and
what was
that's,
Shaq's nickname, I would have said Diesel.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I think, different players get names. Like
Just
Rudy Gobert has the Stifle Tower, but is that going to be off limits for Victor Wembanyama? Because I'd look at him and say he's a Stifle Tower. He has like
it's,
5 blocks. If he gets to 5 blocks a game, how could you not give
but
the
his name's
nickname
Wemby. His
Homer
nickname's Wemby. You can call him Alien.
or the Alien?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that nicknames stick for a variety of reasons. And it's almost very similar to kind of tracing viral trends. Why did that nickname go, right? Why is King James the nickname? Because he's been King James before he even did anything, right? It's kind of odd, but that's because he was crowned as the chosen one or whatever it may be early on. I think it's actually a lot more biblical than people realize, but that's irrelevant. Nicknames happen. Like what's Curry? The chef? Chef Curry, right? That's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
But you think about that, James Harden was the one that did the cooking a
But he's the
mode,
beard, so
but
like
he's the beard.
like
So this is the thing. So does Melo? Why is Lamelo not getting his own nickname? That would be what's interesting there.
it probably has one.
Um,
But I think people would
I
just
don't
it's
know.
easier to just call him Mellow, isn't that what it is? Like
Well, that's it, because a lot of people
it's just
shorthand
his
stuff. It's
name,
like how
I
cat.
guess.
It's like how cat is his nickname, but it's Carl Anthony Towns. All you've done is acronym his name. So there's all those things at play here. I do think errors is important. In 50 years' time, we're going to have some players. Like the longer the league goes on, we're just going to have this issue pop up, right? And then it introduces the new concept of like how long a number is going to be attached to players before we have to unretire them because they can't retire everyone. They're already retiring
What do
people
you
at a
mean?
ridiculous rate.
Well, in 300 years' time, the best number will be 154 because, he's the best guy in the
Mm,
league.
yeah.
But look, I guess at the end of the day, man, I think maybe if we want to put a formula to this process, if you are a Hall of Famer, I think we should lock your nickname to you. And I think if you reference Mello in the future, you're talking about Carmelo Anthony, not LaMelo, not Fab Mello, not any other Mello in the world. Yeah, do you remember that kid? Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
do. I
and
do.
and 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 that's just how I think it should work. And then the kids that come along and they reference the players incorrectly, you were wrong. Yeah, that's on you. You got to go do some history research, I think, on the NBA and all these this league that you love to watch, man?
So in real time, I'm getting an idea. And so you could potentially edit this because you might have had a really good exit point, but just record it just in case. Do we need almost a dummies guide to the NBA history and players that you need to know, players that you really should go check out? And basically, all we do is just list a bunch of players of like, hey, if you want to talk about the 2000 to 2005 era, you need to Google these 5 players. If you want to talk about 2005 to 2010, you need to Google these or pick moments. It's a big series, but it's just like park it away as an idea. I'm just literally saying it out loud so I don't lose it, but park it away because it could be a
Netflix,
good.
Netflix, please call us.
Oh, Netflix. Is Netflix calling?
Netflix, please call us for this big series. We'll
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
10-part
We'll
series.
we'll talk to Amazon or Peacock, whoever, really. Anyone, please talk to us.
Dong dong
That's it.
dong.